Hey, what's up guys and welcome back. With the release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer, the Star Wars fanbase has pretty much been in uproar, most of which being very excited for the Kenobi series, but with this, naturally with Star Wars and its fans, we have another major controversy. And by major, I mean about as major as you can get with the Star Wars show controversy. Nonetheless, the fans are actually quite concerned and a little bit upset over the designs of some specific characters that we've seen previously only in animation. I'm of course talking about the Inquisitors and a lot of the controversy revolving around the designs. This stuff is eerily similar to the debate that a lot of Star Wars fans had a few months ago over the book of Boba Fett, and specifically the design of another character that again had only previously appeared in animation. I'm of course talking about Cad Bane. With Cad Bane in the book of Boba Fett, I actually thought that he looked pretty good and was accurate to the other Duros that we've seen in Star Wars canon, dating all the way back to the original Star Wars, where of course the Duro species also appears for the first time in the Cantina. I thought that a lot of the criticism levied at Cad Bane's design in the book of Boba Fett wasn't really warranted, and I thought the change in his voice could of course be explained by the fact that around 20 years have passed since we last saw Cad Bane. 26 actually, now thinking about it. So it makes sense that he would sound a little bit more grizzled and a lot older than when we last saw him continuity wise in the Bad Batch, as that is the last time in the timeline where Cad Bane showed up. With the Inquisitors though, while I think the Inquisitors don't necessarily look bad, this time around I think the Star Wars fanbase has a pretty good point about their designs, and I think a few little tweaks could make massive improvements to the designs, especially talking about the Grand Inquisitor. Now of course, when adapting anything from animation to live action and vice versa, there's going to be liberties taken. It's a meme at this point in time that Count Dooku from the Clone Wars show obviously looks nothing like Christopher Lee, and his head is quite distorted with his nose being super pointy. The point I'm trying to make here is when you adapt anything from animation to live action, and again vice versa, there's going to be some liberties taken and they're not going to look identical or the same at all. Again though, in this case, I think some small design alterations and changes, which they can still make for the record, would actually go a long way to please a lot of the fans of Star Wars Rebels and the animation style in Rebels. First off, let's talk about the piece of major controversy and one of the easy fixes, that being the Grand Inquisitor. The Grand Inquisitor in Star Wars is a species known as a Powin from the planet of Utapau. Utapau and Powins, which we actually got to see in Revenge of the Sith, with Obi-Wan Kenobi interacting with them as well. As you can see in the design of the Obi-Wan show, the design of the Powins in Revenge of the Sith and Kenobi do not match up very well at all. Many fans have said that they should have added a prosthetic head to the actor who was played by Rupert Friend in the Kenobi series, and that this would make him look more accurate and more akin to what they looked like in Revenge of the Sith. However, I think a lot of the design change can be attributed to age, as a lot of the Powins that we saw in Revenge of the Sith were much older than the Grand Inquisitor is here, and I think continuity wise they can get away with the designs looking a little bit different. However, where I think they actually messed up with the design of the Grand Inquisitor is his eyes. In Kenobi, if you look closely to what we see in the scenes, his eyes are not the striking yellow that are prominently featured throughout Star Wars Rebels, with the yellow eyes indicating his allegiance fully to the dark side and also setting him aside as one of the most immersed dark side warriors at the time of Revenge of the Sith and post Revenge of the Sith. It's very indicative of his dark side nature, and as you can see the design alteration on the screen now, this looks substantially better than what we actually see in the Kenobi series. Luckily though, they can still actually make this alteration in post and give the Grand Inquisitor his Sith eyes, making him look far more appropriate the way he does in Star Wars Rebels, and I think drastically improving upon the design itself. I don't personally think that the head prosthetic idea is that big of a deal at this point in time, but I would like to see him with yellow eyes, and as you can see here, the fan alteration is much better. Again though, when converting things to live action, you have to take liberties. All the way back in the second season of The Mandalorian, the design for Ahsoka was also offered to allow Rosario Dawson to be more flexible, as her Leku were reduced in size significantly. This though went along well with the ultimate design of Ahsoka, and there wasn't a lot of fan backlash. In the end, I think the thing will be similar for the Grand Inquisitor. We're only seeing brief glimpses of him in the Kenobi trailer itself, and I think that once we see him in full live action and really have the actor's performance come through, fans will come around to this design of the Grand Inquisitor. With that said, where I think more controversy is actually warranted warranted is in the design of the fifth brother, who looks substantially different from his Rebels counterpart. I'm really excited to see Sung Kang portray the fifth brother, but this isn't about the actor's performance, this is about the design of the character. A big critique specifically with the fifth brother is that Lucasfilm is making them look more like actors in face paint rather than alien species, which is something that I really liked in Star Wars Rebels, the fact that it portrayed more alien species as Jedi and Sith or Inquisitors alike, as I felt it really widened the Star Wars universe and not having every Jedi and Darksider simply be a human in face paint or otherwise, which again they're sort of moving backwards with Lucasfilm here. I think a prosthetic would have served really well with the fifth brother and would have made him look a lot more accurate to the Rebels show. There was even concept art in The Force Awakens that portrayed the fifth brother far more accurately, as originally, as a little behind the scenes trivia if you guys didn't know, the design of the fifth brother was actually going to be a Knight of Ren in The Force Awakens, but Dave Filoni liked the design so much that he took it for Star Wars Rebels and made it into an Inquisitor. And I think the design and the concept art that we see in The Force Awakens would have served really well for the Kenobi show. Again, here though, it looks like an actor in face paint, not an alien species. Are these things that will hamper the quality of the Kenobi show in the long term? No, I don't think so at all. Are a lot of the critiques this time around warranted where they may not have been for Cad Bane? In one YouTuber's humble opinion, yeah. These are not series altering and series defining changes, but I do think that the critiques are valid, and I do think that in the future, Lucasfilm should take steps to make these characters look more accurate. Again though, it's animation and you're going to have to take liberties. This by no means breaks the series. But now I truly want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. What do you think of the designs of the Inquisitors, and are a lot of the critiques frankly overblown? Or do you think that we could see better designed characters in the future if Lucasfilm hears us talking about our critiques of the designs of characters that previously appeared in animation? Shout out to Roadlockster on Twitter, who is responsible for the redesign of the Grand Inquisitor. It looks phenomenal. But now leave your thoughts in the comments down below and what you think about this. Again, if you guys want to stay up to date with everything Obi-Wan Kenobi, from controversies in and out of universe, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next video.